Hello everyone, this video is intended to be a brief overview or introduction to what you can expect out of our Education 748 practicum course together. First, you can expect that we will continue working with the student that you assessed through 747. Now that you have a full picture of their needs and your instructional goals, it's time to enact those instructional goals. You will work with the same student for a total of 10 instructional hours. We have only 4 weeks for 748, so you will have to schedule your time together as you see fit. In terms of the student's stamina and the family schedule and your availability, you might have to do shorter, more frequent sessions. I totally leave that up to you. And just as a reminder, those that are seeking special education certification add-on who do not have a lifetime license, and if you are somebody seeking the Fort Alternative Portfolio, then you will need to provide 3 recorded lessons for coaching and feedback. This is essential if you are pursuing the Fort Alternative. So there are 4 main assignments that you can expect, and I will go into more detail after this slide. The first one is your lesson plans and reflection number 1 for 20 points. There will be a writer's notebook, you know I'm such a fan, for 20 points. You will do something called a decision-making model for 30 points and a final reflection for 10 points. So let's look at those more closely. For starters, you will be doing some independent reading in this course. I will provide links to free ebook copies of each of these 3 textbooks, and you will choose one that you think best suits your position and your learning goals. So we've got Next Step Forward in Guided Reading from Jan Richardson for grades K-8, Comprehensive Reading Intervention in grades 3 through 8, and How to Plan Differentiated Reading Instruction for grades K through 3. As I said, they will be available free online, but if you are the person like me who needs to hold a book and you need to highlight it and mark it up, of course, feel free to order off of Amazon and have that in time for the start of our course. So once you choose which of the 3 texts that you'd like to read, or if you have another text in mind that you'd like to float past me, please contact me and we will work that out. Once you've chosen your text, you are going to create a reading schedule for yourself. Just a reminder, there will be 4 writer's notebook entries due at the end of each of the 4 weeks. August 1st, 8th, 15th, and 20th is your final entry. So you'll want to create a reading schedule that allows you to hit those writer's notebook entry due dates. Speaking of the writer's notebook, much like in 747, you'll have 4 weekly entries, this time 5 points each for a total of 20 points. Same naming convention. Please create a Google Doc that you name your first and last name, Education 748, Writer's Notebook, and then share it with me at the email address shown here. The use of Google Docs, of course, allows us to have an ongoing conversation. You only need 1 Google Doc that will be an ongoing document. You don't need a new one each week, and you will submit the URL each week on Canvas for grading. Just trying to make it as streamlined and easy as possible. So what will you be writing about in this writer's notebook? Really, that's up to you. However, I'm going to provide 2 possible prompts to think about. First, how will you use your learning in your current role? And what connections do you make to your past teaching experiences? But truly, please feel free to go beyond these questions and just record anything in your writer's notebook that you are taking away from this book that you think is enhancing your professional understanding. So there are two reflections. The first one, lesson plans and reflection number 1. Once you've finished your first 5 hours of instruction, so somewhere, maybe around week 2, and I realize that we'll have to be flexible with due dates here as you each are creating your own schedule, and you'll finish your first 5 hours of instruction at different times. So once you've finished your first 5 hours, please share your first 5 lesson plans. I'm going to be looking to see if you have clear learning targets and, really looking at your lesson plans carefully. And then also reflect on how your students have grown or not grown and what you think about that. And also your own learning, your professional learning through this experience. I would encourage you to check out the rubric for the required elements here for this assignment. The next reflection, your final reflection, is due after completing 10 hours of instruction with your student. And you will respond to 5 reflection questions that you can find on Canvas and on the syllabus as well. The last assignment will either feel really great or feel really nerve-wracking for you, depending on how you like assignments to be specified. There's a lot of freedom in this, which can make you feel awesome or itchy. So that's up to you. You are going to create some kind of graphic representation that illustrates the process you engage in as a literacy diagnostician from assessment to instruction. In short, you have a lot of professional knowledge and experience stuffed up in that brain of yours, and I'm asking you to pull it out and make it visible. So I would like you to use this graphic to answer the question, how does a teacher work as a literacy diagnostician to assess, diagnose, and match instruction to a reader? So where do you start? What do you do with a kid to figure out their needs? And based on that, where do you go instructionally? So it's going to look, all our brains are different, and it's going to look different for each of us. So maybe you want to draw that process. Maybe you want to create a step-by-step graphic or some kind of flow chart. Maybe you like if-then statements. Maybe you like an Excel spreadsheet where you just put everything in and, follow the check marks. It's completely up to you and how your brain works, but I'm asking you to pull out of your brain, where do you start with a kid and where do you go? Really a lot of freedom here, but I'm hoping that you will be able to synthesize everything you've learned in 747, 748, and beyond, and create kind of a map to helping kids. This assignment is purposefully open-ended to allow you the freedom to find a way to put your own thinking into a graphic representation. Imagine if you were given a student teacher that wanted to learn the art and craft of reading instruction from you. How would you help guide them through that process? That's kind of what I'm asking you to pull out of your brain and put on paper. I will try to put some helpful resources for you on Canvas in a module called Decision Making Model, maybe some links to some useful resources that you might want to reference. And I just hope you have a lot of fun with this activity, learning, reflecting on just how much you know and how much you have at your fingertips. So that is 748 in a nutshell. And as always, please, email me with questions, schedule a Zoom. I am here for you. This course is meant to be interactive and working with me, and we will learn together. So send me an email and we'll set something up. I'm here to help. All right, see you all online.